Hi, this is Miss Dove, and I am here to bring you the flipped instructional video for Comparing Expressions Part 1. So our goals of this video and of this section is to determine whether a pair of numerical expressions form an equation or an inequality, and we're also going to be comparing numerical expressions. So first, let's review and make sure we remember how to solve following the order of operations. And remember, in the course you learned, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. You can also think of this as PEMDAS. Okay, we have parentheses, we have any exponents where you have the little number in the corner. And this, I put M and D next to each other because it's multiply or divide, whatever comes first, left to right in the problem, and also addition or subtraction, whatever comes first, left to right. So right off the bat, I see that I do have parentheses right here. Within my parentheses, I have to follow PEMDAS, which means I need to divide before I add. So this becomes 3 plus 1. I'm going to rewrite everything else. Now to finish out the parentheses, I add. Remember that when a number is right next to parentheses, that means to multiply. So I'm going to change that to a multiplication sign. Now subtraction or multiplication comes first, and just rewriting everything else. And my final answer is going to be 0 because 16 minus 16 is 0. So here is a little information about comparing numerical expressions. So to follow the order of operations, we just talked about that. You want to do parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division, whatever comes first, and then finally addition and subtraction. Also, you have used symbols like this before, less than, greater than, equal, and not equal, and you've used those to compare numbers. We can also use the same symbols to compare our expressions, so we're going to do that in just a second. And this is an important word to know, or phrase. When one expression equals, another, they're called equivalent expressions. So let's do a practice problem together. And I would challenge you to pause this and try it on your own, and then solve it with me in a second. But what we're going to do is we're going to solve each side, and in our box here, we're either going to fill it with an equal sign or a not equal sign. Okay, and remember, we do have to follow our order of operations. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, and remember, multiplication and division, addition and subtraction, whatever comes first, left to right. So here I have parentheses, and within parentheses I do have exponents. Remember, 4 to the second power is 4 times 4. So this becomes 17 plus 2 minus 16. I'm going to continue by adding first because it's the first thing in my parentheses. That would be 19. 19 minus 16 is 3. And so 2 times 3, you can write it like this, or 2 times 3. This side over here equals 6. So if this side over here equals 6, then we will put an equal sign here. Now, with this problem, this bar right here is similar to a parenthesis, which means I have to figure out the answer on top before I can divide by 2. And then I'll subtract by this at the end. So 5 squared is the same thing as 5 times 5. And then add 3 over 2. And then this right here is 2 times 2 times 2. So 5 times 5 is 25. 25 plus 3 is 28. And then this over here, 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 again is 8. So to finish this out, 28, remember this means divided by, 28 divided by 2 is 14. And 14 minus 8 is going to give us 6. So both sides equal 6. That means I put an equal sign here. Okay. Okay, one more practice problem. And again, I would challenge you to try to solve this on your own by pausing the video first. This time we're going to either do a less than, greater than, or equal to sign. So I'm going to start over here on the left. Remember our order of operations. So first I'm going to do my parentheses. I have 20.5 minus 2.5, and you may need to come over to the side and do some math. Okay, 5 minus 5 is 0. And you can either think of this as 20 minus 2, or you can regroup. Either way, your decimal drops down. This is 18. And we're going to be dividing 18 by this, which is 9. Okay, and 18 divided by 9 is 2. So this side over here equals 2. Let's try this one over here. In the parentheses over here, we have to multiply first. Okay, so 3 times 0.7, we know that that's 21. And there's one decimal in the problem, so there has to be one decimal in the answer. So 3 times 0.7 is 2.1. And we're going to add 0.6 to that. And 1 plus 6 is 7. My decimal just comes straight down, and 2 plus 0 is 2. So on this side, I have 0.3 plus 2.7. And when you add those together, I'm just going to continue right here. That's 10. And my answer is 3 wholes on this side. So they are not equal. So what sign do I fill? Well, I know 2 is less than 3. You could also think about the mouth is opening up to the greater number. So your mouth has to be going towards 3. You can also think that the point is pointing to the smaller number. Okay, so my final answer is 2 is less than 3. So to review, we determined whether a pair of numerical expressions formed an equation or an inequality. Are they equal? Are they not? And we also compared multiple numerical expressions that way. Your next step. So look for a flipped follow-up session in your live session schedule. This may be in the future, or it may be a review that you can go back and watch as a recording. You can request a target teach for additional practice. You can attend help lab sessions, and I hope that you have some fun. Thanks for joining me.